Houston's been the most connected despite no like actual evidence of pursuing, but that's a team who literally struggles in half-court offense and like when that ball isn't moving in transition or like we're attacking off the catch and like moving defenses, that offense has no creation. So that's pretty much the Rockets are pretty much the only team that I see Kevin Durant's like specific scoring talent playing into a winning culture because I feel like just half court isolation scoring, shot creation is the one thing that team needs. GMLB family, welcome back to another episode of Good Morning Let's Basketball. It undoubtedly is a great week in the NBA. There's a lot happening as always. And as always on this show, I am Mike Miles. I am with my co-hosts, Victor and Kevin. Fellas, how are we doing today?
Doing great. New setup. Excited to show it off. Maybe we'll add some more in the back. Comment down what you think I should add.
Great day, same setup, same stuff. Can't complain.
That's good, fellas. It's good. It's good to hear. Unfortunately, Daniel is being pursued by the FBI for keeping the donations and not redistributing the money that you guys sent for his computer that he didn't actually use for the computer. That goes against the GoFundMe policies. So he is currently being pursued to pay those back. Unfortunately, he won't be here this week, but he will hopefully be here next week. So, um, dropping an F in the chat for Daniel. But fellas, let's jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about the Kevin Durant drama. That's what we're going to start with. The potential trades. Things are going horrible in Phoenix. I mean, this is common knowledge for NBA fans at this point. After that, we're going to talk about the Lakers' recent success and kind of the future outlook, as well as the injuries that are happening. And finally, we're going to talk the MVP debate. We're going to touch on it a little bit, and it's going to be the Shai versus Jokic debate. Just drop some opinions on who we think is actually going to win the MVP and who we think actually deserves it, because believe it or not, those might be different from each other. So, fellas, let's talk Kevin Durant. So, currently, the Phoenix Suns are 30 and 35, sitting at the 11th seed in the West. There's not a lot of hope out in Phoenix. We've talked about the roster on this channel before. It's clearly not built for a championship. And with the recent developments with Kevin Durant and Mike Budenholzer, it seems that the relationship between them is also dead. A lot of arguing. There's a video going viral right now of Kevin Durant not grabbing an offensive rebound and Budenholzer telling him to grab it, and then he gets picked up on the commentator mic talking about why don't you tell Grayson Allen the same thing, except it's a much more explicit version of that. But yeah, let's just get into the report here. So Shams Charania said, this offseason, from my understanding, what it would look like is the Suns and Durant would work together on any potential trade to a contender. I would expect 4 to 6 contending teams with some serious involvement in Durant. He's still playing at a high level. He's extension eligible in the offseason. And the extension, we know, plays a big factor. So we got 4 teams. Sorry, excuse me. 3 teams, because we decided not to talk about the Lakers. Full transparency, that's not going to happen. Spurs, Mavericks, and Heat want Kevin Durant. Kevin, you could start our panel off today. Which one do you think is the best fit?
Man, y'all know I'm always down to talk about the Slim Reaper. But best fits, we
That's
got
your guy.
Mavericks, Heat. What was the third team? I already forgot. I'm keeping score
Spurs.
Spurs.
as well. Spurs,
Keep
Mavericks,
it a
Heat.
buck.
Spurs, Mavericks, and Heat. So I feel like the popular answer amongst people you ask would probably be the Mavericks, considering I feel like that's the only thing that could compensate for trading away Luka Doncic is having AD, Kyrie, and KD. But I don't know what they would have to give up in order to land KD, depending what the Suns are trying to do as well. Because I mean, they suck. That team's fucking terrible. Excuse me. But I don't think any of us saw that big three working out. I'm not even going to give myself a pat on the back for predicting that because I just don't know how you think it would work. I think going back to the main question here, I think the Spurs would be fun because in an ideal world, a perfect world, they somehow land KD, they win the capture the flag sweepstakes. You get a starting lineup of Flag, Fox, KD, Wemby, and honestly, the fifth doesn't even matter. You could throw Vassell or Sohan in there if you really care.
One of them
But
is gone for sure if they get KD.
yeah,
Probably
yeah,
Vassell.
probably would have to be that pick, the Cooper Flag pick. That would work. That'd actually work out perfectly. Flag for KD. But yeah, kind of what you said about KD's longevity. The guy can still hoop. I mean, when it comes to that time, I think it'll be a conversation that he has as good as longevity as LeBron James. I said it. But yeah, I mean, I think the Spurs would be a fun team to see him go to. Winning culture. I think Pop would definitely come back if he's able, of course, with his health. Pop, we're really hoping you come back. I would like to see the Spurs. I think that would be fun.
So I know you mentioned that you guys were talking about like potential trade candidates for the Spurs and stuff. And the Phoenix Suns are likely to seek 3 first-round picks and a young player in any trade involving Kevin Durant.
Hmm. Yeah, that I don't like that idea. Like, aren't they have Devin Booker. The whole goal is to build a team around Devin Booker. You're not going to
Well,
fit your timeline with 3 draft picks unless you just dish them back for a player.
I honestly think Phoenix is in the mindset that they're going to just completely do a whole rebuild because there's also talks about Devin Booker getting moved and his the highest odds for a team to land them are the Detroit Pistons. They're the favorites right now, and the Phoenix Suns could receive 4 first-round picks and a rising star for Devin Booker. We've also seen because you were saying that Mike Budenholzer and Kevin Durant had been going at it a couple times. Devin Booker and Budenholzer have also been going at it. There was talks like a couple weeks ago saying that Devin Booker was getting too loud in the huddles and too loud in the locker rooms. That the coach had to calm him down and tell him to be a little bit less loud. So I mean, there's trouble in Phoenix.
Yeah, and that just leaves Bradley Beal to burn in Phoenix, I guess. I don't think anyone's gonna put in an effort to get him. But dude, I mean, we saw what the GM said last year after they got eliminated from the playoffs. He said, honestly, I don't think we have to make a whole lot of moves. I think we're right there still. And I was like, honestly, you're an idiot
Was
because this
that
team
was that was
this
that
team
Matt
sucks.
Ishbia? Was that
Yes,
Yeah,
Matt Ishbia or
I remember that.
okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It was the owner or the GM, one of those idiots.
It was the
Either way,
GM.
it was the
No, the
GM. Yeah,
GM
I
is
just
James
couldn't
Jones.
remember.
It was the
Or no,
owner.
no. Okay, wait.
Matt Ishbia is the owner.
Okay, it was Matt Ishbia. It wasn't James Jones.
Yeah.
Regardless, idiot. Team sucks.
Buck 'em.
It doesn't matter who it was. But I mean, as far as D Book, this is like the second team they've attempted to put around him, with obviously having that squad where they went to the finals, unfortunately blowing that 2-0 lead because you have Chris Paul on your team. That's just how things work when you have him on your squad. Sending him off, I mean, I guess a little home reunion back to Michigan would be cool to see. I mean, Pistons fans would love to have him, assuming they're the success they've had this year. But like that kind of back to the question, like, are they trying to blow it up or are they still trying to like compete and contend? I don't think anyone really knows. I don't think the owners know or GM or whoever decision that was to keep this big three.
Well, I think whenever you talk to NBA owner and they have superstars like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker on the team, they're always going to say that they want to compete for a title. They're never going to want to try to not have playoff success. They're always going to like get the fans be hyped up for the season and being like, we're going to compete. We're going to put all our chips in and go for this thing. And that's what you see the owners saying. And that's what they tried doing. But obviously it's not working. And they're going to have to try to either rebuild or try to have somewhat of a kind of mid roster and try to maybe make the playoffs every year.
Yeah, not me as a GM. I'm more of a realist.
Yeah, I mean,
You'd catch me like RDC in that one skit. Probably the fourth time I brought it up in the past
Yeah,
month.
you've been referencing it a lot in these last episodes, but it's facts. It's facts.
This ain't on me, y'all. Y'all are trash. That's easily their best skit.
yeah, dude, I just think like NBA teams or NBA owners in general just love to hold on to like teams, and I don't know if it's necessarily that they can't find the right trade packages or if they're just comfortable where they're at, where their team's at and stuff. But as a GM, I feel like at some point you got to realize it's time to rebuild,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's what it might be for Phoenix.
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. But give me their salary and see how much I give a damn.
So
Being
basically,
honest.
Phoenix is just the new Wizards for Bradley Beal. Like he's
Essentially,
Damn
just
near
pretty
never
much
left.
in the same. He's in the same situation, just getting paid. Like what is his contract? Like 50 million, something like that, in that ballpark. $50 million to just sit and play on a non-contending roster. My man does not want more for himself. He says he does. I don't think he does. I think he's completely comfortable, like in that
Well,
situation.
ideally joining a team with KD and Booker. I know that wasn't his choice. He got traded, but you would think like, oh, this is gonna work. I'm playing with KD and Book, but the supporting cast sucks. Nurkic was your center at one point. Budenholzer has proved many times that he can't coach. You guys remember his tenure in Milwaukee?
He
Like,
got it done though. He got it done though.
yeah, he did, but he played Chris Paul in the finals,
And also the Nets were injured. They probably would have lost that series if Kyrie and Harden were healthy.
and they played the Hawks in the ECF without Trae Young. But they won. I'm not the type of guy that's going to say a ring doesn't count. You guys know that.
Mm-hmm.
But having all things considered, they did play a good team in the finals. They just blew it. And Chris Middleton decided to score like 40 in game 6 or game 5. Yeah, it was game 5 to
Yeah.
push it further.
To be fair though, beating Phoenix was crazy. That
That
Phoenix
was
roster was insane.
that
it was a
roster
good
was
team.
insane, but dude, that's the most forgotten final series ever.
It was such a weird
Yeah.
year though. It was like half a season, and then the playoffs started.
And then Jay Crowder was salsa dancing and got teed up.
Oh yeah, they didn't even have full fans in there yet either.
Yeah.
So I remember like the Buck Stadium seemed quiet when they won, and then they showed like the crowd and only like half the seats were full because COVID. I was like, this sucks.
Actually, now that you remember that, I do remember that video with Giannis like sitting on the chair after he just won, and the stadium is empty.
There's no one behind them.
Yeah.
He put the city on his back. Not really. There's no one behind him. That's funny, man. Oh, all right. Is this the time where I propose trades and we talk about which one we think is best?
Yeah.
Dude,
Or do you guys want to talk about a sneaky contender I have
Go
for
ahead.
Katie? So Brian
Don't say the
Windhorst.
Warriors.
No. He
Go
he
ahead.
already well that's already not in the table anymore. Kevin Durant said he wasn't gonna go there during the trade deadline because they did make a trade offer for him. But Brian Windhorst said Timberwolves might be a sneaky contender for KD. He said they tried trading for him at the deadline, and KD have somewhat of a decent relationship.
well, that means
With
Randall's going to Phoenix.
That's
See you, bud.
arguably worse. That's arguably worse than playing with the scrubs. Is playing with Julius Randle because then you can't even put up your stats.
Actually, see, because he's not swinging the rock, and
You're gonna
many other reasons.
catch the ball with no grip on it, sitting there on the elbow, boom, 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 boom,
Power dribbling
pass.
his way to the basket.
So
That's how they.
funny.
That's how they taught me to dribble in elementary school.
um, so Timberwolves. Let's see. I wonder. So Randall and do they give up a pick? Probably they'd have to, right?
Well, they're expecting 3 first-round picks. So
Eh,
I don't think they're giving up Randall and 3 firsts for Kevin Durant. As
yeah,
they
good as
should.
Katie is, that's Randall's fun to
Well,
make fun of, but that Randall and 3 first-round picks is definitely better than Kevin Durant. Like just Kevin Durant.
Are you
That's leveraging
sure?
your that's leveraging your future for someone who's 36. And
I
like
don't,
Randall's like not as good as Kevin Durant, but Randall like isn't a bad player. You could
no, he's
trade
not.
you could trade Randall in like one or two of those picks for like really solid role players or like a younger star.
I mean, Randall's not bad. You're not wrong, but like, it's Julius Randle. Is this guy getting you over the hump? I don't think so. Like KD can. Plus, like,
Can he though? When has he made it over the hump besides Golden State? Like if you can't carry a team with Beal and Booker and a horrible roster, how are you going to carry the Timberwolves with like without Randall?
well, I feel like Timberwolves definitely have a better roster, and they just have better overall coaching. They're
True.
way better defensively than Phoenix, which it's not difficult to do looking at the roster. Offense is clearly not the issue on this team with KD and Ant. I feel like they could definitely play together.
I just think like when KD first got to Phoenix, wasn't it Monty? Was Monty still the coach? And then Monty got fired,
yeah.
and they're like, "All right, let's get some better coaching in here." And then nothing happened. They got way worse with what's his name from the Lakers? His name is out of my memory. You guys know what I'm talking about. The 2020 Lakers coach, Frank Vogel. No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frank Vogel.
Yep. It
I don't
was
know
Vogel.
why I couldn't think of his name. Frank Vogel, and then they bring in Mike Budenholzer, and they're like, all right, let's keep getting better coaches, and nothing has happened. They've just gotten progressively worse. Then you go to the Nets, let's bring in Steve Nash, then Jacques Vaughn, and it's like I don't think KD gets you over the hump. I really don't. KD hasn't proved that he could get over the hump on any roster besides the absolute super team that was the Warriors. I
Yeah,
don't think that gets them anywhere.
but like just honestly, just repeat the coaches that he's played with the past couple of years. Steve Nash was a personality hire. That's not like any secret. Jacques Vaughn, sure he's a great dude, but who? I mean, Frank, you went from Frank Vogel to Budenholzer. Like, how do you mess it up even more? Frank Vogel's not bad, but you got to realize it's the NBA.
You skip Monty though. You skip Monty Williams.
I think Monty's great. I kind of forgot about Monty Williams. I thought Monty Williams was done dirty. Uh, in Detroit when they got rid of him. I mean, clearly that's wrong because looking how good they are right now. But I've seen a lot of people speculate that Monty Williams' coaching was a little outdated. I
Hmm.
don't have any more to throw on top of that. It's just what I've seen on the beautiful world of social media.
That's fair. I wonder. I partially agree with that because like I wonder how much of that is like roster construction, where you have Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart, and Jalen Duren on the roster. Like you have to play two bigs, and they're like all traditional. Isaiah Stewart was like forced to shoot threes and became like horribly. He wasn't horribly inefficient, but like it's just not the shot you want in your offense. So
Not what
I
you want
do
him to
wonder
do.
how much of that was like roster construction, but you do make a good point. I know when Fontecchio got there, it was like a big deal for them because they had like someone who could actually stretch the floor well. But that's completely off topic. I don't know how we got to the Pistons, but back to KD. Yeah, I just at this point, I don't hate KD at all. But I don't think the way he plays is winning basketball. Even when he's what? He has two?
Just pointing to the ring finger. I'm just trolling.
That's fair. I mean, I can't argue with rings, but like context does matter. That team was not going to lose. That team wouldn't have lost in 2019 if he played.
Oh, of course not.
But at the same time, like that's not this KD we're looking at isn't that Kevin Durant.
He's better.
And I just when you play with the greatest point guard of all time, you're going to get chips. When you play with normal NBA players, like normal superstars, Kyrie Harden, than Devin Booker. Bradley Beal's not a superstar, but Bradley Beal was a star for a significant amount of time in the league. So it's just it's not enough. And I don't think culturally he would fit with the Timberwolves.
Said when he played with the greatest point guard of all time. When did he play with Nick Van Exel? My fault. I'm saying, yeah,
BJ Armstrong.
You guys weren't expecting to hear that name today. But as far as, I mean, I kind of wonder what role he would play on an actual contender nowadays. Again, I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of depends on what team he's on and who's around him. Yeah. I mean, statistically, this dude is putting up numbers that he was during his MVP season. He can still play, he can still ball. But then again, like, I don't think people ever really saw KD as like a leader. He might not even see himself as a leader. I'll tell you that right now. As opposed to like how like Jordan and LeBron were, Kobe. I think he's, dare I say, as talented as those greats. But as far as like being a leader, he definitely doesn't have that. So I definitely agree there.
Honestly, he's a guy that can score the basketball and not do much else for you at this point in his career. That might sound
Doesn't
radical against KD, but like he's not a great playmaker. He's not a great defender anymore. He has gravity, obviously. Every superstar has gravity, but I don't think he's a player that you bring to your franchise, a promising franchise to push you over the hump. And for all my video listeners,
What
for
happened?
some reason, Kevin's camera is just
Dude, why is it doing
zooming
this?
on his face closely as I drop a burning hot take. It just
sorry. I couldn't
Kevin's
hold
camera
it
is trying
in.
to save me right now by
I don't know what
taking
it's
the
doing. It's like
taking
very
the
close to my
focus.
face right now, and I don't like this.
It
How do I
is
turn this shit
following
off?
him.
How do I turn this off?
Anyway,
Uh, yeah,
go ahead.
I don't even remember where we were at. That threw me off.
I uh I said
Oh,
Kevin Durant is not doing anything for your team besides scoring the basketball at this point in his career.
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I feel like what Kevin said was it depends on like what contender he goes to and where he could really fit in and make a difference. Feel like it depending on what contender it is, I feel like they're already gonna have that built-in leader of that team and stuff, and he might just be there as the scoring guy, like you said, and just go there get maybe 25 points a game, and
But isn't that
just
exactly what Phoenix did?
it's not working though.
Exactly. So why would it work now?
I'm not saying it's gonna work now, but if an NBA team wants to do that and they want to go get KD because they think they have better chance at winning, go ahead and go get them and try it out.
In that case,
The
send
only,
him to Dallas.
honestly, I know Houston's been the most connected despite no like actual evidence of pursuing, but that's a team who literally struggles in half-court offense and like when that ball isn't moving in transition or like we're attacking off the catch and like moving defenses, that offense has no creation. So that's pretty much the Rockets are pretty much the only team that I see Kevin Durant's like specific scoring talent playing into a winning culture. Because I feel like just half court isolation scoring, shot creation is the one thing that team needs. I think that's the situation that'll work for him. I think the Mavericks already have enough with AD, Kyrie, like Clay's extremely versatile off ball, can create his own shot at times. Like those are your guys. PJ Washington, like solid shooter. Like they have the people to spread the floor. The Rockets just don't have that with Amon Thompson, and then Dylan Brooks he's a good shooter, but he's streaky. Jalen Green, obviously, we know his shooting woes. And then like Jabari Smith, just league average shooter. That team just needs someone who can get the ball and create efficiently. So that would be if we're casting lots, I would hope for the Houston Rockets to make a move for him.
Houston would be tough. I remember he was on their list of free agents when the year he went to Golden State. That was like one of the teams that he had visited, as well as the Clippers. And during that time when they had obviously like Harden and CP, I was like, that team would be insane. Fortunately, it didn't work out that way. Now they're good again. So it could happen, but I don't know. Again, I feel like they would bring KD in almost to be like a leader in Houston, but I feel like that's just not who he is. If he can go like somewhere like Vic said and just score a lot of points on an already good team, kind of be like a better Carmelo Anthony, a better like late in his career Carmelo Anthony. That's like what he would have to be.
Yeah. I just think the Rockets also defensively hide him. They would hide him on defense. Not that he's a bad defender, but he's definitely not on par with where he was earlier in his career. So coming into a defense that hides you on that side of the floor and also allows you to play to your strengths on offense, like the one thing we need. We need a go-to guy. I feel like that's honestly the only situation I could see. The Mavericks, I don't like because I don't know what they have to give up. It's probably going to be Washington and or Lively or Gafford.
Probably
And
gonna
I
be
think all those pieces are valuable pieces.
depending on their criteria, it might be like Najee Marshall, Derek Lively, I see as being one of those pieces that they would want from the Mavericks, and then offering some picks with it. Maybe even
Yeah,
Spencer
I just
Dinwiddie paired with it. Feel like he always gets moved.
yeah, the Lakers already tried the Dinwiddie experiment.
Yeah.
They I'll be damned if they bring him back. But um the trade I have here, and this is not fully to the criteria that Phoenix wants. And I don't really think the Mavericks even have I'd have to double check, but have the draft capital for this to actually send those picks. But salary wise, it looks like Clay, PJ, Gafford, Christie, and a 2029 first would be what it would take to salary match. So that's kind of what the package will look like for KD.
You said Christie. Who else?
Christie, Gafford, Washington, and Clay.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I don't see them doing that.
Yeah. See, I mean, I don't know if Nico Harrison would want to do that either because the guy is mainly. He said he wants defense to win championships, and you're uh getting rid of Max Christie, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, oh, and then Clay. Not a good defender, but dude, I mean, four of your players. I mean, they can't even stay healthy either. The Mavericks, they've been struggling to stay healthy. Jason Kidd said as soon as you go to look for a guy on the bench to get a breather, you can't even sub anybody in.
Yeah. And that's exactly why, like, just the stock of these players, I don't think Phoenix would pursue any of them with just the recent injuries and performances this season. Like, it's been a down year all around for the Dallas Mavericks, especially post trade deadline. So that's the whole thing with them. Um, I don't I don't like it. I think if healthy, and that's a big if, they have enough to make a title run. Like now, that's granted in a perfect world in a vacuum they're healthy, but I think they have enough. I don't necessarily see why you would trade any of those pieces for Kevin Durant. Because like Clay, he's definitely not the player we're used to seeing on either end of the floor, but he still has a lot of value as a shooter and just gravity. Like that's one of the best off-ball shooters in the league. So like I feel like he just fits better next to Kyrie and Anthony Davis than Kevin Durant would operating in the mid-range. Like it just doesn't make sense. You already have a mid-range maestro in Anthony Davis that's going to work in that area. So having KD,
100%.
it's just not a good fit to me.
Yeah,
But
no. Is there any other trades you had?
I got a couple more. I was kind
Let's
of
speed run them.
okay. We could speed run them. We did mention the Heat. We haven't talked about the Heat yet, so I do have a Heat trade here. Oh, I totally had a Timberwolves trade here too that I was not aware of. Jaden McDaniels, Rob Dillingham, Dante DiVincenzo, 2025 first round pick. Okay, that's a whole can of worms right there. We're gonna move on. Do with that what you will. It's like a three-team trade to make
Okay.
that work. I started reading it
Were
and
the
I was
Jazz
like,
involved?
yeah. I was like, I'm not opening this can of worms right now. But Miami Heat receive Kevin Durant. The Phoenix Suns receive Khalil Ware, Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, 2025 first round pick from the Warriors, 2031 first round pick unprotected from the Heat. So
Dude,
two picks,
off
Khalil Ware, Rozier, Duncan Robinson.
off rip. Wait. You said Khalil Ware, Duncan Robinson. Who else? Terry Rozier.
Rozier. It doesn't sound bad to me.
It doesn't, but I would hate to give up Khalil Ware, man. He's playing pretty good, and
True. I
especially the
guess
way they use him with
but
Bam now, and him at the 5 and Bam at the 4. I think it
mm,
makes a little bit more sense because Bam is very undersized for a center, and the Heat have been. I think that as of recently, they've been playing pretty decently, right?
yeah. I was gonna say I don't think like Bam being undersized is an issue because he is one of
No,
the best, most versatile defenders in the league. I think running Khalil Ware at the 5 just unlocks Bam in his power position
yeah, that's what I'm
more.
trying to say. Yeah,
Yeah, and Khalil Ware is obviously a very promising prospect, and we do have a soft spot for Khalil Ware considering he went to IU. But um, I mean, you're giving up Terry Rozier. Some would call Terry Rozier a basketball terrorist in Miami. Um, so you're definitely winning, even if you get nothing back, giving up Terry Rozier, you're winning. But Duncan Robinson, very solid this season, started a lot of games for them. I would hate to see him go because like he's a great player now. Like can spread the floor, great decision maker. When it comes to like shot selection, obviously knockdown 3-point shooter, one of the best in the league, but I think for Kevin Durant, it's you're not losing too much. You're not like it you could find another Duncan Robinson. It's easier to find another Duncan Robinson than it would be to like have Kevin Durant on your team. And that's
yeah,
like a straw man argument, but you get what I'm saying.
yeah.
Um
I don't even know if Terry Rozier is going to be in the league next year, man. I don't know if you've been seeing the betting stuff that happened where they're investigating him.
Yeah, that's oh yeah, the betting stuff. That's
Yeah,
I completely forgot about that aspect. And that's more the reason why Phoenix probably wouldn't do this deal.
yeah.
I mean, they could just waive him and clear salary, but um Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, two picks. So the first one's going to be the Golden State pick. So that's not a great pick. Kevin, welcome
Mm.
back. Um 2031, that's probably not going to be a good pick either. Depending on where the Heat are, but really, I kind of like it. You get Tyler Hero, Bam, and Kevin Durant and Andrew Wiggins as a core. Um, that's a pretty interesting toss-up of a team. Does Kevin Durant fit the Heat culture though? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw what happened with Jimmy and stuff. But the interesting thing too about the Heat is Kevin Durant. I think I remember before the trade deadline ended, that was the team that he wanted to go to the most if he was going to get traded, was the Miami Heat. It seems like a lot of these superstars as they get older, they just want to get traded to the Heat. And I don't know if it's because Spoelstra's the head coach or if it's because of the Heat culture that everybody talks about, or if it's
I
just a
think it's
team in
simpler than
general.
that. Simpler than that. It's Miami,
Miami,
Florida.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I,
I
I
forgot
think
about
honestly
that.
that's probably one of the biggest reasons I would think is just Miami, Florida.
Yeah, you're right. No
Said
taxes
Noah.
either.
Say that no state income tax. By the way, I've heard everything you guys have said for the past 5 minutes, so I'm gonna do all my takes right now.
I thought you were gonna say,
I'm
and I
just kidding.
disagree with all of it.
No, I definitely won't give my takes. GMLB family, I apologize for that, but we should be decent now.
Yeah, dude, we just didn't say anything.
Where were we?
The audio listeners probably didn't even notice, honestly, that you were me and Victor were just carrying the convo. And I think
He's gone again.
he's gone again. Okay. All right.
That
Let's stop
was
addressing
short-lived.
it.
Yeah.
Let's stop addressing it. If you hear Kevin, that means he probably fixed it. If you don't hear Kevin, that means he's probably gone. That we'll just call it that. Um,
What's the
but
next trade?
yeah,
Or do you got any? Or
uh,
should we move on?
let's see. Do I have any more? The Clippers have one, but it involves Kawhi, so it's very unrealistic
Mm.
to have Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard traded for each other. It looks like the Houston Rockets trade looks like Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, Dylan Brooks, Jock Landale, and a 2027 first round pick from the Suns originally. So that pick is going to be pretty good because the
Mm.
Suns would suck. So that would be a high pick, but trading back for their pick. But you're losing Jabari Smith, and we've talked on this podcast before about how Jabari Smith is one of those players that has so much upside, but just has yet to blossom. He's like not to no disrespect, but he's like a farther in the process Patrick Williams, if you will. Same position, same kind of play style. I don't know if you see that parallel, but just a guy who hasn't reached potential, doesn't really have an opportunity to shine, fits the Phoenix timeline better. I'm talking so much about him because he's the main piece of this trade, but you lose Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd's a mystery up in the air. We don't really know what his upside's going to look like because he's in the G League a lot. Dylan Brooks is a tough loss, but especially culturally for the team. I bet a lot of the team would be upset with losing Dylan Brooks, but um, it is Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Honestly, out of all the trade packages we talked about, looking at it from like the Phoenix Sun side, I think that's probably the best that I've heard. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, or like what you think is the best return that we've talked about for the Phoenix Suns.
And again, I think it just depends on what their timeline is going to be.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go future, you definitely want to get picks. And this one has one pick. Most trades will have at least one. I guess Jabari Smith would fit a future timeline. Reed Shepherd, obviously. Dylan Brooks is a good veteran on any team, I think. And I'm biased because I am a big Dylan Brooks fan. Yeah, you know what? This return, either way, this return I think is pretty good, no matter what the timeline is. So I take that back. Um, but
But
having
yeah,
Khalil Ware in Phoenix, Khalil Ware
so
in Phoenix, ooh,
so what would that look like? Devin Booker if they don't trade him.
that's like the one position they need someone.
Devin Booker.
Promising center. I mean, is Khalil Ware projecting better than DeAndre Ayton right now?
Well, no, I don't think so. Not
Yeah, that's
I
kind of what I'm thinking.
I do
We've
honestly.
already
I think
seen it.
I think DeAndre Ayton's pretty good and underrated, man. He was having a
He
killer
is.
season. He was having a killer season this year before he got hurt. He should be coming back soon. He's been out for like a
This
month.
this is true. This is true. But yeah, the point I was just trying to make, not to, I wasn't trying to hate on him, but like we've seen it before, you
Yeah.
know.
I think the thing with DeAndre Ayton is he just needs like that point guard to really unlock him. And we saw that with Chris Paul. And he's having a really good season this year with the Trailblazers. I think that you made a video on them. Trailblazers have kind of a scary
Hmm.
future if once they put it all together and those players develop and mature.
Here's a question though: who's the point guard to unlock him on the Blazers?
Scoop.
It's welcome back, Kevin. Because it would be Anthony Simons. No,
Yeah,
I don't know if
but he's more of a scorer, I feel like.
exactly.
But I feel like you can't just rely on a point guard to make you good.
Yeah,
To
you're
me,
right
that
about
sounds
that.
kind of soft. But dominating has never averaged less than a double double in the league.
True.
He's always averaged at least 10 and 10. The guy can play. He's just soft, and it makes me so mad. Like in Phoenix, like they're always yelling at him for messing up, and he would just like out. And then he signed to the Pacers in free agency, but he was restricted. And then if the Suns matched it, he'd have to come back. And then they
Forgot about
did
that.
match it.
Is that what happened with DeAndre Jordan and the Mavericks the first time? Didn't he like, or did he ever actually sign it, or did he commit to it and then rescinded it? I'm pretty sure. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? This isn't
Yeah,
important.
I think it was just commitment, like verbal agreement.
I think Mark Cuban talked to him the day before the deadline or something. Like it was that close, and he decided to stay after like tweeting like about going to Dallas, or Dwight Howard tweeting, I'm ready for Philly," and then he like didn't go, or I'm ready to run it back with the Lakers, and then went to Philly. That's what it was.
Yeah,
If
the
y'all
Lakers
remember
weren't
that.
Lakers weren't ready to run it back with him.
Well, they signed someone, didn't they? They signed like a really good center, or they signed like, was it Drummond? And then he was like, "All right, I'm out." They like signed a center to take his spot.
I think it might
And
have
he
been.
left. And he left. Yeah, because that was 2021. That was the season where Drummond was doing the back down on the sideline with
Yeah.
LeBron against
Yeah,
the
that's when Phoenix
Suns.
that was a year after when Phoenix beat them in the playoffs.
Hmm. Yeah, and that was the salsa dance. Wow, that came full circle. The salsa dance. It was like from the start of the topic to now. Um, all right, let's move on. We got more things to talk about. I think unless anyone has anything else to say, I think we're gonna move on here.
Yep, there you go, dickhead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
that shit
clip
read it.
that.
That shit
Victor
read
gang
AL.
signs. Victor gang signs on live. All right. Let's move into let's talk Lakers. Let's talk Lakers here. We can touch on the recent success. Third seed. We're briefly the second seed. JJ Redick is a good coach. Who would have thought? 40 and 23 record, fellas. What's going right?
Bronchich.
LeBron. Yeah. Without LeBron, they lose to the Nets. They were missing other players too. Out of context, that's funny, but they were also missing like Rui, Jackson Hayes, LeBron. They were missing two others, but I'd have to check the report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
what?
I
Yeah,
thought
what? Are you
Kevin
gonna
was gonna
finish?
go.
He
I
You
didn't.
can't.
got it.
He didn't go though. We're just gonna wait forever.
No, I heard Kevin go. My fault. Okay. I can't see if he's gonna talk or not. He's not on the screen, but
You're gonna have
He's
to
gonna
throw
be
up the
the
shark.
the panda, or no, the shark in the woods this time will work for him.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say like recent, like this is the first time in Luka's career that he got an 8 game win streak on his team, and a lot of that has been due to their defense. The last 15 games, or no, last 10 games, Lakers have been first in defensive rating. I remember also JJ Redick. When they played the Nuggets, they ended up beating the Nuggets, and he said he didn't go to sleep that night because he was game planning for the Nuggets the whole time. And their whole goal during that time when they played the Nuggets was to not let Jokic get in between 15 feet because I think he was shooting over 70% within 15 feet. So they were playing him really aggressively and trying to double him above the 15 feet, and it worked. They shut down Jokic that game. He had a lot of turnovers. I do believe he still ended up getting a triple double, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't
yeah,
every team try to do that? That's not like a mind-blowing strategy.
no,
Like it's kind of like the PJ Tucker treatment. It's like, oh, we held Jokic to Only a 20-point triple double tonight. It's like when people called PJ Tucker a great defender because he holds his opponents to averaging 40. It's like, bro, he's locks. Yeah, he's locking himself.
I just don't get the narrative that like JJ Redick made some like crazy reinvented the wheel defense. I just don't see the it was how every team plays Jokic. They just have a better roster equipped. And really they like didn't even stop him. Like they did well, but they didn't like neutralize him. Like
They
I
didn't
feel
let
like
him
that's
hit
just
30, 20, and 20.
really it's just really overblown, like they did good. They won, but like did they stop him? Not really.
It's
I
like
think he
it's kind
even
of
shot the. I think that was his lowest he might have shot in his this season too for field goal wise. We'll look
dude.
it
Yeah, he
up.
took like 8 shots
Yeah, yeah,
or
he did
something
not.
crazy. Like
He
it
did
was,
not get shots off at all.
yeah. Sometimes he plays like that. Like it looks like he's like not at all like looking to score, or maybe he did just get shut down. Air quotes I'm throwing up right now, but kind of like with the Lakers, looking at them on paper, 40 and 23. I feel like the games they're winning, they're like just getting by. I could be wrong. I'm just speaking off of my eye test here. I really need to see this team in a series, man. Like, is Jackson Hayes is playing great. He's their guy. He's their big. Like, is he gonna get exposed in the playoffs? Is that what is what's gonna happen? And then on
I,
top of that, like you have
yeah.
Rui Hachimura on your team.
Did you guys see the clip of JJ telling him to cut and he like just wasn't listening? And then like finally he like turned, shook his head, got in the spot, caught a pass and scored. Have you seen that? Like dude just has
No.
no basketball IQ of where to be. It was
I
like
feel like
literally
that's
go
all.
stand on the block. I think JJ Redick goes the block, Rui. Like get on the block and it picks it up. And Rui doesn't listen, so he starts like yelling at him. Bro takes one step on the block, catches a pass layup. That's the type of player you're playing with Rui Hachimura, man.
It's like that read was so open, he cut 10 seconds later and still scored. That's just lack of IQ.
Also, I think it was a set play. So like he also like just didn't run the set right. And then he walks down the court like laughing, like pointing at JJ. And it was like, dude, like how did you not know to do that? Like Loki, like everyone's like JJ's such a genius. JJ's such a genius. It's like no, dude, Rui's just not a smart basketball player when it comes to like NBA rotations on offense.
Yeah, dude. Like forgetting a set play, that kind of makes me feel better about forgetting a set play back in like high school or whatever. Like this is your job. You get paid to do this. Like when I was in high school playing ball, like I had like calculus and shit to worry about that I needed to study. I couldn't just study a playbook or plays all day like these bozos.
You took calculus in high school?
No, I did not.
I was about to say.
I did not.
That's fair though. Um, let's see. Where are the Lakers in offensive rating in this stretch?
I
Let's do
believe due the last 10
last 10
games,
games.
I believe they're 20th or 22nd.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna look at next. Is like, um, how much is the Luka ISO effect taking over the offense?
They're 16th.
I guess, I guess it's working, right? But again, playoff basketball
That's what I'm saying, dude.
with this roster,
That's what I'm saying.
with this roster, you
When,
got
when the playoffs
Reeves can
hit,
shoot it.
when the playoffs hit and the OGs start sitting in the chair, bro, it's difficult.
I don't know if his situation, because he had who on the Mavericks? You had Kyrie, you had PJ, you had Derek Jones Jr., who was shooting the highest percentage of his career at the time, and then the lob threat. This year you got Jackson Hayes as the lob threat. It's pretty much the same thing on offense, I would say. Then you got Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves for sure. Those two will start for sure, and then the fourth will go to who fits. So
LeBron.
like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot LeBron James. I was about to say like their injuries are throwing me off. Like Rui being injured is throwing me off, but Rui hypothetically would be back by then and be in the starting lineup. So LeBron is shooting really well from three this year, though. So does it translate to the playoffs? I don't know if it's at least in the starting lineup. I don't know if they're significantly different of situations. That's kind of what
Let's
I'm
look at it
thinking.
like this. Let's assume the Lakers like make it to the conference finals. And let's say it's against the Thunder. The Thunder boss up and they make it. They prove everyone wrong. Do they beat the Thunder,
No.
Miles? Miles?
I would have to consider if you asked me this before like 2 games into the Luka experiment and I looked at the roster, I'd be like, there's absolutely no way. But watching their film and seeing the way they're playing right now, we know the Thunders are all about the teams in the like the playoffs. That's the word I'm looking for. The playoffs are all about hot streaks. So like if you go in hot, like we saw with the Mavs last year, like you could do anything. Uh, I'm not comfortable saying the Lakers yet. I'd have to think matchups and things like that first. But the Thunder are young and they've been dismantled before. Like Lou Dort and Hartenstein have been exploited before. But then again, you can exploit like Rui Hachimura. You can exploit Jared Vanderbilt, like these rotation players on the Lakers. So it goes both ways. I would say probably this season the Thunder would win. Probably in like 5 or 6. Uh, probably 6. But like you do have LeBron and Luka Doncic on a team together, and like I know that's a stupid thing to say like without context, but at the end of the day, like I think you guys both know where I'm coming from with that.
Of course. But my thing is like, what are the matchups going to look like? Who's Luca going to guard?
Probably Lou Dort, I would think.
But then who's guarding Shea?
I
Reeves?
would have
Probably Reeves.
it would have I would say Rui. They'd probably put oh no, I'm sorry. Not Rui. Hypothetically, you would start DFS and put DFS on Shea if they were smart.
Yeah. But even that right there, it's
I
like
don't
Shannon
think
Sharp said.
I don't think you could start Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt will get
No.
exploited on offense, especially with Chet and Hartenstein, one of those guys playing off in the paint. Like that's
Dude,
a
yeah.
horrible decision. But I
Yeah.
think you would start DFS like 3 and D can shoot the ball, shooting well this season. We obviously keep up with his shooting numbers, uh, um, and obviously is one of their better defenders. So I hate that Jackson Hayes can't stretch the floor at all
It's kind of
because he
sad.
can't. It would be so nice if they had someone who could bring Hartenstein out to the wing to exploit that. But then again, it's like LeBron is going to be getting guarded by probably Chet. Okay, so you think Chet takes the LeBron matchup because uh, Lou Dort is going to be on Luca. So I'm wondering like how this. It'll probably be SGA Reeves, Lou Dort Luca, Chet LeBron Hartenstein Hayes, and then DFS would be on. Or this is from the Thunder perspective, but you get what I said. What I need to say. It would go different ways depending on who's on offense and defense. Okay, I don't know why I tried to start this. Okay, it didn't go the way I wanted, but you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. I also trust the Thunder's bench a lot more than the Lakers bench. In like every
Yeah.
way possible, offense and defense. Isaiah Joe, remember, he plays on the Thunder.
Yeah,
That's my guy.
Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich
Jason
Williams,
Wallace.
Like they have
Kaysen. Yeah,
Jason starts.
yeah, Kaysen starts.
Is it because J Dub's on right now?
No, Kaysen
Uh,
usually starts.
yeah, Kaysen usually starts over Dort, but I'm thinking they're gonna go with Dort for bigger size in the playoffs in that series.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, shoot. I mean, there's no way either Hartenstein or Chet comes off the bench. That's not possible. That won't
Yeah,
happen.
I think it would be Shea at the 1, Dort 2, J-Dub 3, Chet 4, Hartenstein 5.
I like that lineup. But back to the Lakers a little bit. The playoffs were to start today. They'd play the Warriors. And we know how hot they've been.
That would be such a fun series, dude.
That would. You know the
If
NBA
that
is pulling for that.
if
Yeah.
that took place today, that would be so fire.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Get another Curry LeBron matchup. You know, people are never going to call that boring. People are going to tune into that.
Hmm.
That might revive the NBA.
I legit don't know who takes that series. It just depends on who's more hot at the time as a team.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. I feel like it's just going to be like 6 games of offense.
Or do you think they put Shea on Luca? Or I'm sorry. Yeah, they put Shea on Luca and Lou Dort on LeBron.
I don't know
J-Dub
if
on
they.
DFS.
I don't know if they'd want to put Shea on Luca though, because you got to save Shea for offense, man.
Yeah, and if he gets
That's
in
where he
foul
dominates.
trouble, it's wraps. Maybe they go with
That's true.
J-Dub. They might go with J-Dub on Luca. Honestly.
That's probably what they would do.
Dang. This is crazy. This is
Or
such a
Dort.
crazy thing to think about. Well, Dort was who I said originally would be on Luca, but I feel like Dort would switch to LeBron instead of Chet. Dort would guard LeBron, which would leave Luca or I'm sorry, which would leave Shea or J-Dub to guard Luca.
I rather
I
have
feel like
I'd
go ahead.
rather have Dort guard LeBron than J Dub though.
Yeah. I feel like they would sit Hartenstein, honestly. I think they would run Chet at the 5 and stretch them out, stretch the floor.
It's very possible. Go with the OG lineup.
Go
But
with
Shea, Kaysen, Dort, J Dub at the 4.
Yeah. I feel like I've switched. I feel like that's who they'll go with, and they'll put Case and Wallace on Reeves and probably J Dub on Luca and Lou Dort on LeBron.
Well, that would go crazy because you have Hardstein coming off the bench. His matchup is most likely going to be who? Vando? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll take that. Fried
yeah.
catfish, yams, collard greens.
Vanderbilt's underrated, man. He's playing well for them on defense, but yeah, a little bit of a Lakers outlook. I guess this kind of devolved into Lakers versus Thunder, who wins, which is okay.
LeBron's out 1 to 2 weeks with a groin strain.
Hurt his nuts.
Yeah, Kevin had something I think he said earlier in the week. Can't remember what it was. But supposedly this isn't something that, like when he had that groin injury in 2018, it's something that is not to that extent. So, I mean, that's good news. It looks like he's going to be 1 to 2 weeks.
I
Now you got me
remember what
wondering
he
what I
said.
said.
I remember what he said. He said in our in our real recording, he said a 40-year-old getting a groin injury is like a 16-year-old getting pregnant.
No,
I
no, no, no,
think
no.
is what
That's
he
not what I
said.
said. That's not
Isn't
what
it
I
something
said.
along?
No, no,
Wasn't
no,
it
no, no,
something
no.
along
Now I
those
remember.
lines?
It was wow. That was botched. I said a 40-year-old getting a groin injury is like a WNBA player getting pregnant.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. You're right. You're
Jesus
right. You're right. You're right.
Christ. Oh God.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, you're just out for a long time.
Yeah. And then I said like a WNBA player getting pregnant is like a torn ACL. It's the same thing. You're out for the same amount of time. Wow.
Yeah.
What a turn.
Um, but yeah, I just remembered it was something about being pregnant. We were just dying. All right. I'm out of Lakers stuff to talk about, to be honest. I want to see if it's a fluke. That's the big thing for me.
I think
But
that's definitely what everyone's wondering right now. I just want to see him in a series. Playoffs can't start soon enough, man.
I I genuinely thought it was mind blowing to see the Lakers in the second seed, even if it was for like a few days. Like, wow. The Lakers have
Yeah.
been so bad these last few
I
years.
know, dude.
They're still third.
Yeah.
Third, but
That's
honestly, like third to sixth place, it's only 5 games. And that's the
yeah.
Warriors who are on sixth. They started off terribly. Like, had they been a little bit better, they'd be a higher seed.
That's true.
They
That's
could be
true.
third.
All right. Let's transition to our final little point of discussion today. Um, fellas, I'll just ask the question. Who's the MVP?
I'll start.
Shai or Jokic? Who do you think?
So, literally last Tuesday, when we recorded our episode, what did I say? I said a lot, but I said Shai's winning the MVP this year. Like, they're number one. A lot of people thought he got hoed last year. He's playing great. He's had like 4 50-point games in the last like month. He's getting it this year, right? But in that time, Jokic walked into OKC 2 nights ago, dropped 35 and 18 on 15 of 20 shooting. And then the other day, this dude put up a stat line that at the very minimum read 30, 20, and 20. Y'all seen that before?
Nope.
No.
I haven't either. The league hasn't. Like, it's like every time people start making the case for Shai, it's like, okay, yeah, he's getting it this year. Like, he's the favorite. Jokic does some BS like that. This is the worst supporting cast he's ever had, minus the years when he was like a rookie and the Nuggets were whatever. And they're a second seed right now. And it's just absurd. Like, is he really about to do it again?
Is that his fourth? This is his
Yeah,
fourth, right?
it would be his fourth.
It would be his fourth MVP.
How many players? How many players have 4 MVPs?
I can only
Jordan,
think.
LeBron.
I can only think of 2. I think
What-
Bird only has 3.
What about Kareem?
Wilt, LeBron. That's what the AI said.
No, Jordan has.
Bill
Yes.
Russell, LeBron James. Oh, that's 4 times in 5 seasons. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay. Sorry. My bad.
so that's another
LeBron
stat.
James has won the award 4 times. Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. Okay. No. Dude, just be straight with me.
okay. I
Why
found
is it
it.
not being straight? Yeah, tell me, please. I'm butchering this.
Okay, it's Kareem with 6, Jordan with 5, Bill Russell with 5, Wilt with 4, LeBron with 4, Bird with 3.
So he'd be the 6th guy to have at least 4. Did I count correctly?
Is Kareem all regular season MVPs? That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has the most.
I
Yeah,
didn't
because I know
that about
Bird,
him.
Larry Bird is the only player in NBA history to three-peat the MVP award. And Jokic almost did that.
Jokic should have. Let's get that straight. He should have.
He should have, but people said the year before that Embiid should have won it. So I feel like they kind of like stuck it to him and everybody else. Whatever.
Yeah.
Because then people were raising the question like, oh, if Jokic does it, he's gonna be the first player ever since Larry Bird. Are we saying he's better than Larry Bird?
Yes.
Damn near.
No, he
Hey,
is.
He is better. Like, he is, yeah. I am saying that.
As an individual player, he is better than Larry Bird. As a resume and career outlook, it might be a different story. But as a player, he is better than Larry. He is, dude, as a player individually, Jokic is genuinely in like the GOAT discussion. I'm not even playing. It's Michael, it's LeBron, and it's him. That's how good this guy is.
Yeah, this MFer is pretty damn good.
All
He
he
doesn't even
needs,
like basketball.
like, dude, if he wins like 1 more championship, bro, if he wins 2 more championships, that guy's the GOAT. Like, there's no doubt that guy's the GOAT.
Yeah, I think 2 more is really like what would solidify him.
Dude, yeah. I mean, like, imagine he gets 4.
If he tied LeBron,
You get 4 rings. You have 4 to 5 MVPs. That's ridiculous. Like you
I
just
may have.
dominate.
Okay, I
Bro,
think I've overstepped. I think I've overstepped, but go ahead.
what if he was somehow to end up like leading in every single stat, points, rebounds, and assists? Just ends his career that way.
Well,
Dude, people are sleeping. He's gonna average a triple double this season. Like, are we not realizing that? He's
that's another
he's gonna
thing,
be
dude.
he's gonna be the third player to average a triple double in a season this
Yeah.
season.
And you're not going to give that guy the MVP
Exactly.
as a center?
A center averaging a triple double who just put up 30, 20, and 20 second in the West.
Like
Like,
the last dude that averaged the MVP or the last dude that averaged a triple double and won MVP, his team was like sixth. And that's his
beat
teammate.
beats Shea in every advanced statistical category. Not
Yeah.
everyone, but about 90% of them as well.
Like
Well, the
he beats Shea in PRA and his team is just a couple games behind.
And he walked into their what's the Nuggets record?
well,
Have they only played twice against the Thunder?
okay. To be fair though, they played twice. They played on Sunday and Monday of this week, and Sunday the Thunder did win that game.
The
But
Denver Nuggets are 2-2 versus the Thunder this season.
So it's even split.
but the Nuggets they put up 144 points against the Thunder, and that's the most points the Thunder gave up this season. And then
Yeah, because
Jokic, what were you saying?
nothing important. I was just gonna say Jamal Murray also decided to be good that game too.
And then Jokic said about the MVP race, he said, "I will say that I think I'm playing the best basketball of my life. So if that's not enough, that's enough. Or so if that's enough, that's enough. If not, Shea deserves it. He's really amazing."
He
Dude,
clearly doesn't give a damn.
class
Yeah.
act, man. Class act.
He's always brutally honest. It's so funny.
He said, if it's not enough, then give it to Shea. I don't care. I have 3 of them.
Bro does not care about his legacy at all.
He really doesn't. It's insane. But this dude's leaving behind a hell of a legacy.
Yeah, Miles, who do you think should win it? Like Shea or Jokic?
Who do I think should win it or who is going to win it?
Let's do
I feel like
both.
your answer would be the same.
I don't think his answer is the same.
I think they're going to give it to Shea this season to get him one, but I think Jokic should win it in my current boat. And yes, some of that is recency bias, but now that the Denver Nuggets are second, I don't. There's no like, well, Shea's team's first and Denver's sixth. Jokic can't lead to team success. So if this sustains, like that argument is null. So now you're comparing two guys where one can score really well and the other does everything better, beats you in every advanced statistical category, and his team has tied your like if you're so much better as a team, which the stigma is that the Thunder are like way better than every other team, which is kind of true. But then you split the season series with them, like, and you outplayed them in pretty much all those games. Like, what is what exactly is the argument for Shea right now outside of scoring the basketball?
I mean, I feel like you pretty much summed it up good. I'm kind of in the same realm as you of like, they might give it to Shea, like you said, to give him one. But dude, if they give him the MVP this year over Jokic, that's probably the biggest snub ever. Tell me this dude averaged a triple double with a way worse team than you,
Oh yeah,
and
I
he
didn't
wasn't
even
that far
mention them.
behind you, and he didn't wasn't even that far. He was one spot behind you, and you guys split the series. It'll kind of be a tragedy. But the year that Jokic won the finals, he didn't win the MVP. So I don't know. It's kind of like a trend.
It just depends because it's like people will make the argument, well, take Shea off the Thunder and like see how many games they win. Take Jokic off the Nuggets and see how many games they win. Like it's an
Yeah.
even better argument for Jokic using that.
How about put Jokic on the Thunder and Shai on the Nuggets? Let's see what happens.
I it's just like I'm not seeing what the argument for Shea is.
There's not one. Like there's not an argument.
A lot of people
Oh,
say also the amount of 50-point games you said, but that's like what you said about the scoring.
yeah, that just falls
Just
in line.
yeah, the falling scoring.
That
Am I
just falls in line with
tripping?
he scores better.
I feel like that 50-point thing was like damn near misinformation because I like looked at this the other day. Shea's 50-point games. Bro, he's only had two on the season and they were like really far apart from each other. I'm about to fact check this, but I don't know where this 50 point. I feel like that was just like a damn near a lie. Let
The
me
truth.
look at his read. It's a bold claim. It's a bold claim.
You obviously don't know where that's from.
I didn't even hear what he said.
I said I'm the truth.
All right, let's see. Points. Where's the game log at? Please, somebody else, Victor, please search this with
All
me
right,
to see if I'm tripping.
he's had 54 against the Utah Jazz on January 22nd, 52 on January 29th against Golden State. March 3rd, he had 51 against Houston, and then February 5th, he had 50 against Phoenix.
So that's four, and it's not.
I
Is it
said
in?
4.
Yeah, was that in a 2 week span?
Uh, no,
Like,
I don't.
where did that come from? That stigma, that it was
Two
like
week
all in a
span?
span, in a span of like two, like.
I didn't see that.
Hmm.
Maybe it was like 40 plus or something. Are you sure?
Yeah, I might be tripping. I don't.
I
Yeah.
am. I know where the mess up is. I saw a post of Shea and all his 50-point games, and they were like put in a row of like it was like a graphic. And I think I assumed that he had done that in like the past like month or so. Because it said like Shea recently. That's like what the post said. And I think I took it at face value and was like, damn, dude put up 4 fucking 50-point games in like half a week.
No, but it's not. It's not just you, because my brother called me and was like, "Dude, Shea just put up 4 50-point games in like the last month," and I was like, "Dude, no, he didn't." Like I'm looking at, no, he didn't. I feel like that post was misinformative because you are the second person that's brought that up.
It might
Okay,
be
this
sent
is not
out.
important. But yeah, like 50-point games is the argument. Like, what about everything? What about everything else? Like I said, his argument is he
Yeah.
could score the basketball and his team is the first seed.
Yeah. Like I said, his argument is scoring, first seed, and aura. I didn't want to bring it up,
It's my trigger
You
word.
brought it up.
but but Victor was shaking over there like an addict.
I'm feeding.
Oh my God. I'm perfect. I'm Shea. God
Dude,
loves me.
did you see that did you see that picture I sent in the chat of him pulling off his shirt and he was wearing the bra? You guys see that? It's like
Yeah.
Shea ready for the semifinals in the cup. He was wearing a bra. Oh,
We got the same one.
this has become a Shea slander topic. I might be missing something, but genuinely like scoring in first seed. If he
No.
drops below the first seed, there's no way he gets it.
I okay, I think that honestly the biggest like reason why everybody wants to give it to Shea is because you, the stupid voter fatigue with like giving a player the award too many times and they just don't want to give it to Jokic again. But it's like how can you not with the season he's having? We're seeing this dude literally put up ridiculous stat lines, average damn near a triple double, take that garbage
He
team of
is.
a what? Oh, he's
He
averaging it
is
right now?
averaging a
Okay.
triple double.
Yeah.
And he's taking that garbage Nuggets team to the second seed right now. It's like how can you not give it to him? But that voter fatigue, which I think is a dumb rule, plays into fact.
Where is this garbage Nuggets take coming from? They're like a good team.
They're a good team, but it's definitely not one of the better supporting casts he's had.
Yeah, but they're not bad. Like you still have Jamal Murray. MPJ's playing some of the best basketball of his career. Aaron Gordon's shooting 40% from three this season. Like, where's the stigma that this team is bad? Besides like Christian Brown, who like, yeah, we like to tear down Christian Brown because he's Christian Brown. But like
Y'all do.
he's not even that bad.
That's what y'all like to do.
No, you said he's a tryhard. Don't give me that y'all do. That's you too. That's you too.
No.
You're like, I hate tryhards. Christian
No.
Brown is a prime example of that.
I said I hate tryhards. I didn't say I hate Christian Brown.
Victor, did he say that? I'm pretty sure he said I might have to pull footage.
I'll tell you what I said. I'll tell you what I said. I'll tell you what I said. Honestly,
It was
what I said.
Pods.
No, that was pods, but we've talked like multiple times about different players.
Yeah, I'm about to inform. I'm about to inform. Yes, I did say Christian Brown is a tryhard. I did say that. But I said he's acceptable because he has bounce. And he posted Rudy Gobert last year. That is why. That is the reason. I'm not even BSing you. Because dude has bounce. And he's tough. That's just what it is. But I do remember like three games. I do remember like 3 games into the NBA season. Y'all bozos said the Nuggets were screwed. I was like, all right, 3 games into the season, how cooked are the Nuggets 1-10? Y'all were like 7, 8. I was like, you guys are crazy.
Let's not get too ahead. All right, I said they weren't garbage. I didn't say I believe they could win a championship. And like you said, they're still playing with the worst roster they've had in a while. So like we got to pump the brakes on that a little bit. They still might be screwed. Not as screwed, but they still might be like a 4 or 5. We haven't seen this team in the playoffs yet. Also, how the hell did I know that Jokic was going to come out and average, like play the best basketball he's played of his career after winning 3 MVPs?
Man.
Like, that's more of a Jokic doubt than like a team doubt. So Jokic has proved me wrong. But like,
the fact you doubt Jokic over the team more, I don't know if I think that makes the take worse or better.
I apologize for saying the Nuggets were garbage. I didn't mean they were that trash. But
no, I think
I was just
bro said the second seed was garbage.
I just oh man, I don't know. I just got overexcited about Jokic, and I was just thinking earlier you guys were bringing up like if you took Jokic off the team and how good they would be. That's where that came from. I apologize, Nuggets fans.
They'd be decent, but they'd probably be like a ceiling 7th seed. Absolute ceiling 7 seed without Jokic.
Like
probably more like a play-in.
Dude, I don't know. I think they might even be worse than that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also hate playing the game of I'll take them off the team, but it's fun to do in comparisons. I'm a big fan of the swaps. Like put Shai on the Nuggets and Jokic on the Thunder, and like let's see what happens. The Thunder
Who's gonna play make? Who's gonna play make?
For who?
There's no on the Nuggets if Shai is on there. There's no playmaking.
Westbrook.
There's literally like y'all got MPJ gonna shoot twice as much. It's raps, man. It's raps.
Yeah, unless he somehow just starts averaging like 45.
Yeah. So, Vic, did you pick Jokic for MVP or are you Shai?
If I had a vote, I would probably vote for Jokic, but I do think SGA will probably end up winning it.
Here's another thing, completely unrelated to end this episode as we're wrapping up here. You told me because he's Serbian, you pronounce it Nikola. Mike Malone pronounces it Nikola, and that's his coach. I'm taking Mike Malone's word over yours.
It's Nikola, but I mean literally.
Who said? No, who
how
said?
You pronounce it.
Source. Where does it say you have to
me.
pronounce it that way? Source you. Exactly. I don't
Dude,
believe you. I believe Mike Malone.
Kevin, tell him it's Nikola. We're from Balkan, so we know.
Man, you lucky my camera's not working. I'd be waving this flag in your face.
But
But
yeah, dude, it's
Victor,
Nikola.
Victor is right.
There's
So
literally
Mike Malone, his coach, is calling him it wrong. Like you can't pronounce it either. You can't pronounce it the other way.
I'm
That's
not
just
saying you
not a thing.
I'm not saying you can't pronounce it that way, but the correct pronunciation is the other one.
Have you never seen that video of Nikola Vucevic in a press conference and someone called him Nikola and he was like, it's not hard to say Nikola. I don't know why everybody calls me Nikola.
But that's Voos though.
That's the
This is
same
Jokic.
name. It's just, it's the same name from like the same region of the world.
Where's Voos from?
Montenegro,
Where's that?
Over there.
Europe.
Where's Macedonia?
Also over there.
Is it in Europe?
Mhm.
It's not in Africa.
Yeah, I need to study my geography. All I'm saying, Mike Malone, his coach, refers to him as Nikola.
Yeah,
All
because
I'm
you
saying.
can't,
You think the coach would get it right.
because it's easier for him to say it that way, probably. And that's how everybody in the league says it. So, I mean, you're just going to assume it's that. And Nikola Jokic probably just doesn't care to correct them. You know, he can't correct everybody.
He could correct his coach though.
Yeah. He
He
corrected
sees him
y'all.
every day.
I mean, dude, he doesn't care about winning the MVP. You think he's going to care about correcting his name?
That's all I'm saying. I think you're telling me it's pronounced one way, but he doesn't actually pronounce it that way. He doesn't care. So I don't want to hear you tell me how to pronounce it on the podcast because he doesn't care. That's the take here. That's the take.
All right, man.
All right.
This argument's horseshit.
Your defense is horse shit.
No, it's not.
I got his coach on my side.
Yeah,
But we
Mike
can
and
wrap
Mike.
up. Exactly.
Mike and Mike.
Mike and Ike's. That's right. All right. We could wrap this up. GMLB family. First off, tell us if it's Nikola or Nikola. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. GMLB family, thank you all for being here. This was how long was this episode? This was a long one. I feel
For a
like.
minute.
Probably an hour and a half.
That's it? Oh, I guess we started a little later than usual. Okay. GMLB family, we thank you all for being here and tuning in to this podcast. As always, feel free to like and subscribe if you like the content. If you want to email us, we do have our at gmlbfans@gmail.com email address. We read all emails on the show if you want to reach out to us directly. And yeah, fellas, you got any plans? I will be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin next weekend, so I likely will not be on the podcast next week. Heads up.
I don't got any plans, man. Probably chill weekend.
It's good. We all need that at some point. Kevin, what about you?
You know, man, just trying to find more ways to turn $1 into $1 million.
And on that note, we're going to wrap it up. GMLB family, thanks for being here. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.